Two Knicks Chicks family, welcome back to another episode. I'm your girl, Lady and the Chef, and I'm joined by my co-host as always.
Relax 21. What's good?
It's good to have you back. The Knicks season is over. Regular season is over. There's still a couple of, I think, play-in games that are happening. I know with a couple of West teams, but we're not worried about that. We're here to talk about the Knicks. They made it into the playoffs, so that's what matters. Um, I want to just get right into it. I don't want to waste any time and give the listeners what they want to hear talking about Knicks talk. Those of you who are joining us, salute to you. Hit that like button if you can. Show some love to the channel. Those of you who are new, welcome. Nice to see you here. Um, we talk with two Knicks chicks. We talk all things New York Knicks, New York Liberty, and a little bit of the WNBA. And we'll have a couple of news and things that we talk about around the NBA, specifically around the Knicks. Huge Knicks fans, huge New York Liberty fans. So let's get right into it for today. So playoff start, round one. The Knicks are facing Detroit on Saturday. Game one is going to be on ESPN. It's going to be called by Richard Jefferson, Doris Burke, and Mike Breen. I'm sure you're probably only interested in hearing Mike Breen call the game because I know how you feel about a lot of the other ESPN analysts, as well as a lot of the Knicks fans as well. Shout out to Jeff Clafter, who said he's going to have the game on mute. Takes a special skill set to do that. Shout out to you, Jeff. Um, but yeah, game one Saturday at 6 o'clock. So it's a nice, decent time game. The Knicks have had off all week. I've seen bits and clips of them practicing this week. Guys getting in some runs, which is nice to see. I really don't care about that. What I care about is what they're going to do on Saturday and this whole first round. Um, I read something, Wally Zerbiak, MSG analyst. Um, I can't remember where I saw it from, but I took the actual what he said and I clipped it. And he pretty much said this about the Knicks for round one. He said the Knicks must overcome fractured confidence. What a beautiful way to say that. First of all,
Yeah.
I was like, wow. The Knicks must overcome fractured confidence, and anything less than an annihilation of the Pistons would be an indictment of the locker room. I'm going to ask you about that. I want to go back to that. He said, and I quote, "We're going to learn a lot about the interior of this locker room in this series quick." He said, because the talent is there, they should blow out this Detroit team when you go player for player. If they don't dominate this series, there's something going on in that locker room, and that's not right. Detroit is trying to win their first playoff game since 2008. They have beat the Knicks this season, 3 out of their 4 head-to-heads this season. When you hear that by Wally, which I like Wally, when you hear him say, anything less than an annihilation of the Pistons would be an indictment on the locker room. Do you feel like that too with the Knicks? If the Knicks don't win this first round series, is it, would you think that to you, is there a locker room issue or is it something else?
Both. Um, and it's so it's so funny that you mentioned that because I was listening to Sirius XM. They had bigger staff on with Scalabrini and Isola.
Mm-hmm.
And the coach was like speaking of the confidence level that his players have. And he alluded it to, he said, yeah, they lost the first game playing the Knicks. And he said he knew his guys had something special when they beat the Knicks, that second matchup. And he said then when they beat the Pacers, it was like a high level game. And he said, you know, when my guys, you know, when they were winning, he said, and which is true, your confidence grows. I mean, you're here And when you can beat other teams that when I guess you're not expected, and also you got to take into account they won 30 more games this season than last.
They
So
tripled their wins
yeah,
from that's they're the first team in the NBA history to do that. Right.
so their confidence is through the roof. So when you hear that, like the anything less, and you got to wonder, well, why couldn't they beat them? Because Cade is their go-to, but we have more to offer, aside from Cade. So, and if they don't win, it's like, well, I don't blame it on Tibbs. I mean, really, you can't put you don't let him be all of it anyway. So it's
That's
a
fair.
locker room thing, and like, well, yeah, it's something else, but what is that something else?
Yeah. Yeah, and I think that's a good way to word it because like Zerbiak said, the talent is there for the Knicks. The
Yeah,
Knicks have a lot of options. So I've said this a lot of times individually, the Knicks have really good players that play individually. And we've seen throughout this season where the Knicks as a whole, as a team, they can play really well together, right? Um, so I don't know. I feel like I don't know if necessarily the direction for me would be a locker room issue per se. I think that maybe I guess you can categorize it under a locker room issue, but for me, I think that there would be some type of chemistry issue going on.
yeah,
And then you wonder if the for me it's more of the players that we have, are they a fit on this team? Because I think a lot of Knicks fans, true Knicks fans, will look at like the acquisition of acquiring Mikal Bridges. The Knicks gave up so many picks for him, and he didn't live up to the hype compared to when you look at Karl Anthony Towns, who played really well this season. And every player on this team has their flaws, whether it's defensively, offensively, whatever the mishap may be. But and listen, I want Bridges and a couple of guys to just make me eat my words during the playoffs and shine and come through. But I do think that if the Knicks don't win this series, there's a deep rooted issue here. And I've already said this on the Queen's Court this past Monday. Shout out to Queen Jeff. Ajay was on the show, and Tony Crow as well was missing there, but shout out to Tony. And I said that I feel like there's a disconnect there, and it's not just with Tibbs. I just think in general there's a disconnect here. And one thing that Queen had brought up was because I said, oh, well, I think that a lot of the players are going to be, they're going to be, looked at like under a microscope for this playoff season. And, I said, as well as Tibbs. And she was like, yeah, and the front office. I think the front office is because she said, first of all, Leon is cool and close with Tibbs, which is a good point. But I think that, well, let me ask you, if the Knicks don't get past round one, is it disappointing, or are you forgiving and you're saying, well, you know,
Ooh, let down. You any other negative adjective that goes along with this disappointing, and it's going to be heart gut wrenching for them to get bounced out in the first round. Um, it is, but then when you think about, a coach can only do with so much with what he's given,
right,
i.e. the bench. So, but again, I'm not giving nobody no excuses, no free passes. You still gotta produce. You still getting a
mm,
paycheck. You like you gotta give us more than 10 points here and 6 points there. The bench was atrocious. So like again, nobody's getting no free pass. It's 0-0. Like the regular season don't even count. You starting new. Both teams are 0-0, and if you come in and go out in the first round, yes, it's going to be a huge disappointment.
Is that based off of is your your take on that based off of the Knicks face in Detroit, or is it based off of what the Knicks did last year, being that they was able to at least get to the second round, and you feel like if you can't get past the first round this season, there's something wrong. There's a disappointment there. What is that based off of?
I would say mm, both, but it's more Detroit and I because their experience alone. I mean, I can't say alone, but just the experience of just being in that high level, high intensity, and they knew, and they know what they did last season. So you gotta bring that experience to this playoffs. And I don't want to say Detroit because, like I said, nobody's getting no passes and no freebies. Like bring that high intensity and just play. Like yeah, Detroit and everybody has them as the favorites, but so what? The Knicks are always the underdog and counted out. Like like they always say, oh, block out the noise, and well, just you're gonna have to do that this come Saturday. But I would say more so, I'm just saying because it's Detroit. And I know that, yeah, they beat us 3-1, but I still think that they are, I don't want to say the better team, but they are the better team, in my opinion. Yeah, like I said, they beat them 3-1, but now these are the things
The
that
Knicks. I just
the
want to
yeah,
clarify you're saying the Knicks because you're
yeah,
mentioning both teams. So just so people are
okay,
under the Knicks.
yeah. So yeah, it's gonna be yeah, it'd be a disappointment.
But you mentioned the experience, and from what I've seen so far, it looks a little 50-50 on who is the favorites to win between the matchup of Detroit versus um, New York. But I see a lot of trending in that people feel like the Knicks are not going to be able to get out of this one.
Yeah,
So I wonder if experience is going to be playoff experience is going to be enough for the Knicks to get out. I have the Knicks winning, absolutely, but I'm still wondering if that's going to be enough when Shams did an interview with Cade, who's very composed, very poised, very humble guy, and he said it's going to be a war. He didn't say it cocky and arrogant. He just said it's going to be a war.
yeah.
And I
Well,
already told it. I said it's going to be, to me, I think it's going to be very close and a tight matchup of games, each game, kind of like what we saw last year in round one. I think
hmm
it's going to be very back and forth, um, unless the Knicks can figure out a way to take at least a 2-game lead and then don't allow Detroit to win the next two. You know what I mean? But I wonder if experience is enough going in for the Knicks when you have a young Detroit team who are underdogs, but they're hungry, they're gritty, they're going to play quick, they drive to the basket, they play aggressive, they're tired of losing.
yeah,
You know,
they're
they've turned a page in their book, and they made great strides and almost like a Knicks team. And I also say this because I said this already. The Knicks tend to play good against teams who they're pretty evenly matched with. When they play against teams who are like the same kind of like neck and neck, same talent level, same kind of like record and things of that nature, they tend to play well with teams like that when teams are able to compete against the Knicks rather. And then when the Knicks play against teams who are better than them, the Knicks a lot of times there's a collapse, and then they have times where they can blow a team out or they can beat a team. But for the most part, I think that it is going to be a close match. Um, are there any concerns? Before I even get to the concerns, what do you want to see in round one, whether that's player wise or as a team? Like, what are you looking for from the rip? Game one, 6 p.m. What are you looking for from the Knicks?
I'm definitely looking for OG to bring that aggressiveness. Like the last few games when Brunson came back, he kind of like took a step back. He
Mhm.
regressed, not much, but it was a little. I'm definitely looking for him to bring, that aggressiveness and take it up a notch. Definitely, Cat has to dominate, man, because they don't have an answer for him. And we know what Brunson's capability, but he has to definitely don't force it. But I'm definitely looking really OG. I mean, outside the team, but OG and Cat. And you saw where during the practice, Josh was taking, was shooting. I want him to be aggressive too and not be so passive and timid. If the shot is there, take it.
Okay, so you do
Um,
want him to take it.
yeah, for sure, for sure. Um, Mikel, I definitely, I'm hoping he could get a good start for game one. I mean, because that'll definitely, hopefully boost his confidence. Um, but that's just amongst some of the other things. I know you're definitely going to more of that.
Yeah, I think definitely you need contributions outside of. Here's the thing with the Knicks, it can't fall on two guys. It can't fall on Brunson and Cat. It can't fall on or a combination of Brunson and OG. It has to be other guys contributing for the Knicks to be successful. Whether they were playing Detroit, whether it's the first round, second round, I don't care. In a game, it has to be more than two guys who are like doing all the work. Um, so for me, it has to be OG has to be aggressive and attack. They can't guard you if you attack. Stop the clock,
Yeah.
get to the free throw line. I'm still trying to figure out how do you get Mikel involved. But I think part of it is Mikel has to kind of do like what Shamit did when he realized I have to take mines. I have to go out there and get it, be aggressive, take my shots. Mikel has to stop playing decoy. If you watch him, and I said this before to you on the phone, Mikel runs around a lot like Curry, but you're not being offensively aggressive like Curry. You're running, tiring the defender out, but you're not really giving us nothing offensively. You're not fooling me. I'm watching you. You're not doing anything. You're just running around. Um, and then you need also Deuce. My thing with Deuce sometimes is while I love the improvement I've seen from Deuce McBride and his shot, I'm not even just saying for Deuce to just drive, but sometimes I think the decisions and the shots that he makes, like sometimes we don't need those random threes that he takes. I can see the confidence in him. A lot of times he has a hand right in his face, a defender right there, and he'll go and, take the shots. But I think that the decision making, and that's just all around, not even just for Deuce, but that's for everyone on the team. One of the things I don't want to see the Knicks do, and this can be a real Achilles pain point for the Knicks,
Mhm.
if they just start settling for shooting shots, whether it's a three, a mid range, and in Detroit's out there knucking and bucking and running fast break. They're driving, guys are stopping and popping. And then when the Knicks get down to their end of the floor offensively, even if it is a couple of passes, but they're just taking a shot. And I get it, not all of them are gonna fall, but at some point you got to say, okay, I got to get a little closer to the basket. We got to get some easy transitional baskets. We also got to get stops as well because I didn't even get on the defense. But I don't want to see the Knicks settle for just taking so many shots. And if I'm sure you've seen that when you watch a Knicks game. You watch these other teams, and I'm like, wow, look at how those guys are just driving. They're taking it in
Yeah.
the lane. They're finger rolling. They're just, it's a difference in a style in the way other teams play against the Knicks, and they exploit the Knicks. And even if Mitchell Robinson is there, who's a great defender of the paint, but guys are just more aggressive on the opposing team. So the Knicks have to figure out a way And OG, it can't just fall on OG and Brunson. Other guys got to step up and be aggressive and attack. If
Yeah.
you're just shooting the ball, again, you're going to need contributions from OG and Mikel. I do want to see Josh because I'm not sure if Detroit, and you could let me know this, if you think that Detroit is going to be guarding Josh or are they going to lay off and dare him to shoot? Because I'm wondering if they're going to play up on him, maybe if they saying like, nah, remember when last year in round one, they laid off of him and he was firecracking them shots up. So I don't know if Detroit's going to fall back on Josh. Either way, Josh needs to be aggressive. And also, not just with the shot, but he has to be mindful and protect the ball when you're driving. Because last year he got pickpocketed a lot.
Yeah.
Um,
It's
what's
a
his
true.
name? Who kept doing that to him on Philly? Damn, I can't think of his name. It'll come to me. And he just Laurie. Laurie. Every time. Boop. Just swiper, no swiper, just swiping the ball. And Josh wanted a foul. And that's another thing too. I don't want to see Josh. I don't want to see Cat complaining about calls. Just play the game because it's going to take you out of the game with you complaining. But offensively, I also don't want the Knicks to allow Detroit to dictate their offense. Meaning Brunson comes down, whoever brings the ball down, 1, 2 passes, and then you just rushing. Or if Brunson is on the bench and now you have what's his name? Payne running the point, and Payne is another one. Again, he may make me eat my word. Maybe he'll be on fire like he was last year when he was on Philly and was just
On Philly.
now here's to his credit. He could knock down those shots, yes. But part of the reason why Payne was knocking down those threes, Josh Hart was guarding him and was watching him. I remember I think it was a time I said, is Josh gonna play any defense? He just kept
Yeah.
watching him shoot the
Yeah.
three.
He came down and he chucked up three, right?
Three
What?
right in a row. Yeah. And Josh was just watching him. So to Payne's credit, Josh didn't play no defense on him. So again, he's capable, more than capable of knocking down those around the world 3-point shots because he got to bring it all the way around 360 before he goes up in the basket. I don't want to see those random sporadic shots going up. Make it make some kind of sense, even if you're open. You know what I mean? Like if you feel confident, cool, but at least hit the rim. Because sometimes with campaign, his shots be going over the rim,
Yeah,
up
yeah,
the other side. It looks crazy. I'm like, don't do that. Don't go out there looking silly and goofy on Saturday. Don't embarrass yourselves because you will get embarrassed. So the Knicks have to have composure offensively. Don't get rattled. Don't rush too much. Don't play too slow. Have a nice pace. Don't play. I don't think playing too slow, I don't want to say it's a problem, but I don't want to see the Knicks play too slow because Detroit's going to run up and down that floor and go crazy. Defensively, who do you put on Cade?
oh,
OG.
yeah,
Now,
without a doubt.
here's the thing. What I'm thinking that maybe occur is teams have figured out how to do this. It's a general thing they do against any team. Any team does it to any team in the league, but it's specifically for the Knicks. I'm wondering if Detroit is going to have that high pick that OG is going to have to fight to get over. And now it leaves Deuce on Cade, or it leaves Josh Hart on Cade, or hell, sometimes they may leave Brunson on him. And that's the matchup that they want. And now he's just doing whatever the hell he wants. But I agree 100% with you. I do believe that OG needs to be guarding Cade Cunningham. And what about, because you got to watch Beasley and Asura Thompson.
Well, you got to guard that three, um, and and keep them off that 3 point line, because like even Cat said, he said I seen the guy, I seen it up in person about the what Beasley can do. when they played together in Minnesota. Um, like this guy, he's like a walking bucket, you know. And just the team overall, like when they and Detroit is not known for their 3 point. You know, I think
Yeah,
some in the season they only shot like 36% but lo and behold, when they played the Knicks those four meetings, they was like 52 for 126. It was like lights out for them, and that's what Detroit is gonna do. They're gonna expose the Knicks their lack of defense, and Malik is just gonna he's gonna live out there, you know, out on that island, and it's gonna be like, and not just him. You got Hardaway and Tobias that they
yeah,
hit at a decent clip as well. So it's not just all contingent upon Malik, where he's just gonna live out there, you know, in no man's land. Like you got other shooters that can knock him down. But you know, again, for me, I you know, like guard the three, and and run him off the 3 point line if you can. Um
but
and
are you confident the Knicks are gonna really be able to guard the three? Because I'm gonna tell you, I don't think it's
no,
gonna happen.
nah,
The
I'm
Knicks
not.
do not play good man-to-man defense. They don't guard the three, the perimeter line at all. And part of the problem with that, and part of what I feel is a bad habit that they have as a team, this is under Tibbs' tutelage. And actually, this is before Tibbs got there, but especially under Tibbs. When you look at the Knicks when they play defense, they play a lot of help defense. And the help defense hurts them. What they do is they leave so much space between them and their opponent who they're guarding, and they're so worried about helping protect the paint. But yet, this is where the math doesn't math for me. They're so concerned with guarding the paint as a team, like they're a hockey team, almost like we got to help the goalie guard. They're so concerned with guarding, helping defend the paint, but yet teams are able to get in the paint and do whatever they want. You know what I mean? So it doesn't make sense
Yeah,
to me as a team. So I'll watch guys and they're inching closer towards the paint area, and I see them. They're looking. They sometimes they jump back out. I'll see them like go back out a little bit. The problem with that is that can get exposed because now teams are swinging the ball around, swinging the ball around, swinging the ball around, and then now like clockwork with the Knicks. They're running out and they're trying to do that stupid swipe in the air and guard. Like it looks like 2K, like a video game, and they're trying to swipe their hand out. That's doing nothing. It's doing nothing because the defense is weak. It's poor. It's exposed. It's just not a good defensive scheme to go against any team. Because you can have a team like Detroit, as you just alluded to, who is not good from the 3 point line. And they're like, well, they don't really guard us. So we have space. We got more than enough time and space to get off the 3 point
yep,
shots that we want, because the Knicks are so late to get out because they're so worried about helping whoever's the center, the power forwards guard the paint. But I'm like, and then this is the part that kills me too. They'll do that, and yet somehow whoever they're guarding, whoever's at the left and right back shortest end of the 3 point line, sometimes they sneak behind the defense of the Knicks, and then they put their hand out and they get an easy pass, and they get an
mm-hmm,
easy dunk or an easy layup. It gets exposed every time. But
yep.
as far as the Knicks guarding the 3 point line, my confidence is not very high on that because this has been a struggle from this team, and I just don't see it. As far as the rim protection, Cat has to really step up and be aggressive.
Well, and Mitch too. I mean,
Yeah, Mitch, of course, absolutely, both of them do, and Precious, in case you're needed as a backup. I'm not sure if he's gonna get minutes, but you need to be ready. Don't come out there looking like you want a gummy. Leave the gummies for after the season. This guy takes gummies before the games. I'm convinced. High dosage gummies. So when you go out there, the rim protection has to be there. But Cat also has to watch so that he doesn't go foul, get 2, 3 quick fouls. Because now you're going to leave Mitch out there as the lone wolf, and now you have to use Precious to come in and play defense. So I just think that these guys have to be ready for the war that's about to take place starting on Saturday. Detroit, so management, front office of Detroit, saw exactly what happened last year in Philadelphia and said, we're not playing those games. Do not come here if you're not a Michigan resident. If you're not a Detroit resident, don't come here. Don't come to this arena. Don't buy a ticket because you're not allowed. You're not going to be in here screaming for the Knicks. Absolutely not. Matter of fact, to avoid you doing that, we're buying majority of the tickets. So none of y'all could come here and come to our arena and cheer for the Knicks.
And I also read that if you didn't live within those certain states,
Yeah,
it would just bounce
phenomenal.
you off. Yeah, and refund your money. Like
Yeah,
so if you have anything associated with New York, New Jersey, probably PA, Philadelphia, anything, you were just gonna just get refunded or wasn't gonna even take your purchase, which is, I mean, I think like that's kind of lame, you ask me.
yeah, I agree. Shout out to the chat. You guys are really active. Shout out to everybody. Sterling Smith said Tibbs is supposed to be a defensive coach. Why isn't this team better on that end? You want to start?
They were high up as far as defense. Somehow they had a collapse on D's. Like they concentrated on. I wish I had the answer because offensively they're rating that they're fifth, but defensively they're like at the bottom. So I wonder where's the disconnect because last season their defense was stellar. Yeah, we had um, different makeup, but still,
Mm-hmm.
you know,
It was
I,
a more grittier
I
roster.
yeah,
But even still, like I saw somebody, and I don't know if they could have been joking, but the person said, oh, even Randall was better on defense. But I'm like, Randall wasn't good on defense. Randall barely played defense. He was good when it came down to like muscling down in the paint, doing the hezzy to go back up after he grabbed a second chance, third chance opportunity rebound. Yeah. But and someone has said this to me. I want to say in the chat on Monday, they said, oh, but the Knicks, a lot of players are still playing there's players playing out of position. I don't know at what point do we get to we have a caveat for everything for the Knicks. There's an asterisk and fine small print of, yeah, well, this person was hurt. Injury. We had a lot of injuries because this year we didn't have a ton of injuries. Mitchell Robinson was the main guy who was injured. Cat hurt his thumb. It affected him a bit. OG, thank God we've had him for the most part for a majority of the season. And Brunson had a small stint of games that he missed as well. But for the most part, this team was fairly, for the most part, healthy. I don't know what it is with Tibbs and I'm still trying to figure this out. Like when you're watching film as a team, I don't think Tibbs is like allowing any assistant coaches to provide feedback. Maybe very minimal, small feedback, but it's not enough to make the changes that you can see on the floor. Again, the offense does look better. It shows and it reflects that on paper. But defensively, the Knicks just haven't been good defensively. And Tibbs was known as a defensive coach. And I don't know, it just seems like he's kind of like put that in the back of the wagon of things to like be a focal point for this team. And this team can be a lot better if they play better defense. But I'm not sure what's happened and why has that seemed to have like gone out the window to a degree. It just I don't know. That's one of the things I don't understand. And I was reading an article not too long ago, and no, excuse me, it wasn't an article. It was when the Knicks was playing against their last game against Brooklyn,
Uh-huh.
and the commentator said this Knicks team, who's been coached under Tom Thibodeau, who's known as a defensive coach, he said, quite honestly, haven't been playing any defense as of late. He said, just seems like it's fallen off. He said, I'm not sure where that's gone. And I was like, he's not telling any lies.
Yeah,
This The Knicks haven't been good defensively under Tibbs. And listen, Tibbs is under the microscope as well. He's on the hot seat as well.
as
And
he
I
should.
get it, it doesn't fall all on the coach, but he's under the hot seat as well. So you got to step up, get it together. If not, you're out. And, I don't think that the Knicks getting past Detroit necessarily means, will it help? Yeah. But I don't think Brunson should have to score 37, 40, 45 points every game. Granted, those are what his playoff numbers are, but I think if it can be more well balanced, that'll help them out as well. But I just don't think that the Knicks somehow, I just think Tibbs has put defense behind whatever other and filed it away.
Yeah, for sure.
There's
Yeah,
no balance on this team. Like, yeah, you got good offensively, but what happened to the defense? You need a balance of both, and this team doesn't have it. And again, going back to what I was just saying, when you watch the way Tibbs has this team playing defense, this was even when we had the gritty defensive guys on this team, the Devos, the Hartensteins, Randall. Tibbs likes to play this help defense
yeah,
because at some point, if you're a coach, you got to be like, damn, I got to make sure these guys a lot. You got to play that white on right rice defense, smuggling defense. And I don't see that. You see bits and pieces of it from OG and maybe Deuce where they're like right up under guy. And then a lot of times you watch and the defense is just terrible. Josh Hart and Mikal Bridges are playing along the side of players. That's not good defense. Whether you have the hardest job on the team or not. So something about this team under Tibbs, again, it's not just this roster, it's just Tibbs, period. They're not good defensively. So I don't know. I don't think Tibbs being a coach is sustainable to go to the next level. You've brought this up plenty of times where a lot of other teams have brought in a younger coach and the players have bought into the system and it's worked. And these are younger coaches, more modern. They're gaining the experience under their belt. And I don't know. Tibbs has had his time, but to me, his time is up.
I agree. Yeah,
His time is up.
because you know players thrive under it's the coach's system. And quite frankly, that's why I think partly with Mikal, because the system, that's probably why he couldn't, I guess live up to the expectations as fans as we wanted him. It could be the system. I mean, I don't know. I'm just again,
Yeah,
I
yeah. But I think that's part of it too, though. I
yeah,
do think that. And I've said that before. I don't think Tibbs utilizes players of a Mikal Bridges caliber to the best of their ability.
yeah.
I even sometimes don't feel like Tibbs utilizes Cat to the best of his ability.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Like Cat, to me, I feel like with the right coach, to me, the only two players that I look at and I'm like, I know this is not their ceiling, but the way they're playing, like that's what a coach is looking for is OG and Brunson. But like Cat, love the effort and what he did this year, not knocking, taking away from that. But I think that like he can be even more of a monster on the floor for this team.
Yeah,
But I don't think Tibbs is utilizing Cat to the best of his ability. I don't think he's utilizing Bridges. And hell, when he had Hartenstein, didn't utilize Hartenstein to the best of his ability. Because
yeah,
Hartenstein, when he left, said Tibbs told me he didn't want me shooting no threes. Huh? You don't want to space the floor out? And speaking of threes, if Cat plays that lackluster defense like did against Porzingis, The Knicks are not. They're going home.
Okay.
Pack your bags up early now. Clean up your locker room at the Garden, and start planning your vacations early now. You're going home. But yeah, I don't. Hell, even when the Knicks had Grimes, I don't think Tibbs and Grimes was streaky, you
Yeah.
know. But like, I not every player is gonna be like a Dante DiVincenzo where he's gonna be like, I'm gonna get mine.
Yeah.
I'm gonna be aggressive and I'm gonna take my shot. That confidence is there. And even if you do have the confidence, not every player plays like I think that's what Shamit eventually did. Shamit realized like, yo, I gotta go out there and get mine because I can't just be standing around as a decoy. I ain't gonna be able to get off the shots and stuff that I want. And then you seen him like make a switch. Granted, he came back from the shoulder injury. He was getting his bearings, but even still, I was like, Shamit is a veteran. I've seen what he could do. He just wasn't giving us that. And now all of a sudden he's become a lot more aggressive and effective for us. Can he do that in the playoffs off the bench? We'll see. We'll see. It's left to be seen for this team. So I don't know. I want to see changes being made on the roster. The Knicks have no depth on the bench. Um, and I think we need a different change in direction of leadership when it comes to the coach because we don't have that. So we'll see. We talked about what do we want to see in the first round. Is there anything that you necessarily don't want to see?
What I don't want to see is them not playing no defense. How about that? You got to play some defense. You know what I don't want to see. I don't want to see them sloppy passes and turnovers.
That's a good point.
Like you got to minimize that because guess what? Detroit's gonna be right out in transition, and you get that. That's a 2 point. And God forbid if you try to prevent them, now they're on the free throw line. So that is definitely like an issue. Um, and what I don't want to see is them, like you said, helping like just guard your man. We don't need you double and tripling and tripling K because guess
For
what?
real.
Now he's gonna dish it off to uh, Beasley out there, which you know where he's gonna be. You got Hardaway. He like that is not
And
warranted.
Thompson.
And Thompson
Be
because
another one. You got to stop him.
yeah, but K, something it's like you got to pick your battles. He's gonna get his 36 regardless.
Regardless. Yep.
He is. He's like a Shea. There's certain plays where you just have to just live with that, and it's okay. But now, when you leaving other guys open, now that's a problem. I mean, because he's like a Brunson is going to get his, and that's something you just gonna live with. But if you can, contain or to the best of your ability those other guys, then now you sort of have a stand a better chance. So
Yeah, I don't want to see any slow starts. I don't want to see a third quarter or a fourth quarter collapse by the Knicks.
yeah, yeah, true.
Wake up. This is the playoffs. The energy. Listen, what Detroit did to the Knicks in the 3 wins, that was a sample. The ones
Yeah,
they give out in the mall at the Asian restaurant, the little sample on the two. That's what they gave them. They didn't even give you out a full business yet. So what are you gonna do on Saturday if they come out running and gunning, or the Knicks have a strong first half and then the second half collapse? Sloppy passes, you look winded and tired. First of all, you shouldn't even look tired.
yeah,
You had a
yeah,
whole week off. I don't want to see
yep.
anybody huffing and puffing and looking tired. Um, so I don't want to see, like you said, the sloppy passes. I don't want to see any second half collapses defensively, offensively. I want to see the Knicks keep their composure. Don't allow this young team to dictate what you're doing. And I want to see the Knicks have other options besides always going to Brunson. I don't want to see Brunson play hero ball. You don't need that. That's not going to win you a series. Sure, you can make 35, 37, 40 points in a game in this series. Great. We know you're capable of doing that. But I want to see Brunson have balance of when he needs to go off and maybe be Mr. Clutch at times. But I want to see Brunson utilize the pick and roll as well.
Yeah.
Take advantage of it. You have Cat and you have Mitchell Robinson, and you have Precious if you need to. They're all capable. Just utilize it. You never know if it's going to work if you're not utilizing it and making it a pain point for another team. Because let me be honest with you, the teams are not expecting the Knicks to do that.
No.
And then at times, I would like to see both Mitchell Robinson and Cat on the floor at the same time. At times, just to kind of throw a sprinkle of a difference of a defensive, different defensive lineup out there for Detroit. But um, yeah, I just want to see other guys contribute. Like I said, I don't want to see us the same. A lot of times, I think part of the reason why the Knicks get exposed offensively is because teams are like Brunson, the only one really doing anything.
Mm-hmm.
And not necessarily because other guys are watching, but he's just taking control. And I don't always think it's necessarily Brunson being a ball hog. It's just he has the hot hand. He's gonna go after it. But again, it's gonna take more involvement than one or two guys to win this series. It can't be Brunson and Cat, Brunson and OG, or and honestly, even Mikal. I don't want to see you only give us one good game out of the series. You gotta give us more than that. It's not gonna be suffice. So I don't know. Shout out to Hit Him Up NYNJ. He says Shaman and Deuce are the X Factor. Yeah, they should come alive and be the X Factors of this game. But anybody on this team can be the X Factor. One night it could be Deuce and Shaman, another night it could be Precious and whoever else. Like this team has weapons. Utilize it. Campaign, it could be Pain and Precious one night.
Yeah, yeah.
But you can't play background and just give us basic effort. I don't want to say minimal, but like the basic. It has to be more than that. And you know what? Guys like Shamit, guys like Deuce, Precious, Payne, I want to see them go out there and give us that gritty toughness and really want it more. Remember what we saw last year in round one? Remember Deuce snatched the ball out of what you call his hand, just snatched it. That's what I want to see. Don't
Well,
come out there looking soft
well,
and lost.
I mean, you know, the Knicks gotta like utilize their strengths. You know, you got two All Stars that made, and which is a feat, like no other. Like OG, he's a defensive prowess. Mitch is a rim protector. Like you gotta utilize all your strengths and use it against the Pistons, because guess what, they're gonna expose the Knicks. They know the Knicks don't play no defense.
But
Um,
that's just it. It can't just be two guys defensively. That's the problem too. Like I don't want to just see a good, strong effort from two guys,
no,
meaning you seeing it just from OG and Mitch, and you're
no,
like, well,
but I'm
damn,
saying that they each bring something to
yeah,
the team, so they have to utilize their strength. And because again, the Pistons is gonna utilize what they do best. They figure they're young. They figure they beat them 3-1. They have the Knicks number. Well, the Knicks gonna have to execute at a higher level than the Pistons. Because like I alluded to, their confidence is like shooting through the roof.
especially
And
because they beat them already.
yeah, so they figure they got the Knicks number. So now Tibbs is gonna have to, and it makes me wonder what is his defensive scheme. You know what I'm saying? Like,
And
so
offensive, what are the plays?
Yeah.
What are you gonna bring towards them that they haven't seen already?
Yeah. So you know what I'm saying? So like, together they have strength just like how the Pistons have, but the Knicks are just gonna have to execute this at a high level. It is what it is. You
And
know?
figure out how to close the games off strong.
Yep.
Don't play that back and forth basketball, giving us all heart attacks and stress. It's not worth it. Shout out to Ron from Still Knicks fans. Hope all is well, Ron. He said this is make or break for Tibbs. I agree.
Yep.
Tibbs is on the hot seat. You can't fall short this season. I'm telling you that much. If the Knicks fall short to Detroit, a lot of people's going to be on that chopping block. And there's a couple of teams that have already made their move so far, firing coaches in the
Yep.
NBA. No hesitation. You're gone. Bye.
Yeah.
So I
Agree.
don't care what extension, whatever you on. Tibbs is on the hot seat. So, and honestly, like I said, the Knicks need change. It starts with the leadership of the coach. You need a coach that's going to have a good system that the players are buy into, and that will start to see the changes reflected on the floor offensively and defensively. Not well, the defense has been picked up as of late. Yeah, as of late. And that's sometimes this team lacks consistency.
Yeah. That
They
was
lack consistency. You can't kind of, as of late, it's the defense has been good. It has to be on a consistent basis. So, and just, I agree. Stop being so predictable. This is the problem with the Knicks, too. Parrish Douglas Salute said Brunson tries to trust them dudes, but he sees them running from the smoke and then he got to do it all. Well, listen, this is not the time for anybody to be running from any smoke. Yeah, Johnny Davis, this is what I was saying earlier. If your shot is off, let me tell you something, and I really want everybody to pay attention. When the Knicks play on Saturday, I can guarantee you Detroit will be driving to the basket. Detroit, they don't care if Cat is in that paint. They're not going to care if Mitchell Robinson's in that paint. They are going to drive to the basket, whether they're dropping floaters, stop and pop, mid-range layups. They are going to drive to the basket. If the Knicks, when they go to the other end of the floor, just decide we just gonna chuck up a three, chuck up a mid range, and they're not falling down, and they don't start the attack, stop that clock and get to the free throw line, there's gonna be problems. There's gonna be problems, and then what's gonna happen is because we've seen this game, then it's just Brunson driving. Nobody else know how to drive.
Yep.
Yeah, I did see that. This is what I mean. These teams in the NBA, they're not playing around. Shams already posted the Sacramento Kings are finalizing a deal to hire NBA executive Scott
Oh,
Perry as the
yeah.
new general manager to replace Monty McNair.
Mm-hmm.
That's the same. This is what the WNBA did last year. Everybody was fired. Damn near everybody.
Yeah, yeah.
We don't have
Look,
to explain ourselves. You're gone.
and didn't the Suns let their coach go? Budenholzer?
Yeah, I thought I saw that. Yeah.
Yeah.
Harris Duggar said Knicks in 5. Brunson is just different in the playoffs. He is, but is it going to be enough? What is your predictions for round one, the games?
Oh, definitely. I have the Knicks, getting past the Pistons. I'm gonna even go. I would even do I don't want to say six because I'm banking on the Knicks to take those two home games.
Mm-hmm.
Still that third, fourth, possibly the fourth game from Detroit. So I mean, I would even do five too because now you got to come back for game five. Boom,
Right.
you know, yeah, I would even I would even go five.
I'm going 5, but I feel like it's going to be in 6.
Yeah. Say I feel you.
Because knowing the Knicks and how they roll, about 2 of them games are going to be real close uh, buzzer beater type games. And it's going to come down to the last second shot. And, You're gonna hear Mike Green bang, and it's gonna be K. Somebody gonna bang it down, and it's gonna be like, damn, that was a close one, close but no cigar. So I'm hoping that that's not the case, but I got the Knicks in 5. I for sure have the Knicks winning this series, for sure, for sure.
Yeah.
Corey Lee, salute to you from the 718 voice. He said, peace and salute. Listen, I can't see us losing to B Rabbit, Papa Doc, Cheddar Bob, and Lotto, and the rest of the free world. Remember, we not the shook ones, we the crooks. Yeah. Well, I want to see the Knicks play like that. I want to see the Knicks play like they knucking and bucking out there.
What do you think? Mitch is gonna start. Did they name the lineup yet? No, right?
I didn't see anything. No,
Yeah.
I don't know. You want Mitch to start?
No, I'm good with him coming off the bench. Yeah, I'm good with him coming off the bench. Is
Yeah, I
Barnes?
don't think Mitch needs to start. I think they can switch just like Mitch and Hartenstein did last year, and it worked well.
Mm-hmm.
And honestly, Mitch may start sooner if Towns gets in foul trouble early. So I'm praying that he doesn't.
Yeah.
Right. So we'll see. But yeah, I have the Knicks in 5, and I feel like it may go to a possible 6. So we'll see. Um, the I wanted to go over this draft picks really quickly. Did you see the draft, or you just caught up on it on social media?
I think I watched some of it, not the whole thing.
Yeah. So no surprise, round 1, Paige Buckers went to Dallas. Listen, second pick, that Dominique Malonga from France. They're calling her the female Wembayana.
Yeah, baby, she dunking on him already in practice.
Listen, and this is no shade to Lisa Leslie. This is no shade to Candace Parker. But Dominique dunks like a man. She out there dunking like the man. I'm jealous that I can't dunk. This was a good pickup for Seattle.
Yeah, because they got
They need somebody else there because I think people would thought that they were gonna be up there, being that they got NECA, they got Skylar Diggins Smith. This
and then
girl's a problem.
they lost Jewel, so yeah,
Yeah,
that's a nice
it's a nice pickup for them.
yeah, for sure.
Washington did an excellent job getting great picks.
Oh
Lord knows they need it. Washington Mystics and Washington men, something about the teams and what they've been under this horrible dark
it's
cloud.
the water.
Yeah, it's something. They've been under a dark cloud. Haven't been able to find teams that can win games. It's something about the teams in Washington. They just haven't been able to do good. So they picked up Sonia Centrone at number 3. I like Sonia. I've watched her play. She's out of Notre Dame. Really good player. Really, really good player. And then they got number 4, the Nigerian queen herself, Kiki Irafin. Kiki is going to be a problem. Kiki is going to be a problem. Kiki's from USC. I like it. I think Kiki with Aaliyah Edwards is going to be a nice, solid backcourt. This girl, number 5, I heard her name pronounced, but she's only 19 years old. She's also from France. And I saw a girl who has a podcast talk about Justice Day. I think that's how you pronounce her name. And she said she watched her play. I just saw this podcast the other day. She said, I thought this girl was like in her 20s the way she's playing. And the way she's so poised and controlled. She said, I couldn't believe it. She said, I had to ask one of the coaches, who is that girl? He said, oh, yeah, she's only 19. She's from France. So great pickup. by the Valkyries, which I'm not surprised. Moving on to the first round as well, Anissa Morrow going to Connecticut. I mean, we've seen Anissa Morrow at LSU. I like her game. I'm happy to see her in the league. Um, Anybody else on this list that stands out for you? I like 10th pick, Aja Spika
Uh,
going to Chicago. She she's a good player as well. I've seen her. Georgia Moore is good too as well.
I thought of Anisha. I don't know why I thought Anisha Hall was gonna go higher, but
What number you thought she was gonna get drafted at?
I don't know, maybe five, but you know, she's Phoenix. You know, she got the Connecticut got some picks for Phoenix, and Connecticut's in a rebuilding phase too. They did a lot of revamping. So they definitely need the help.
Yeah,
But that's a nice look for her too.
yeah, I agree. Now, I'm not gonna lie, I didn't think that Haley Van Leaf was gonna get drafted at 11. I thought that she was gonna get drafted a lot earlier in the
Yeah,
draft. I was very surprised by that, but you know what? I knew she was gonna get drafted. I'm not worried about that, but I that don't matter to me. Like you got drafted at 11, she's still gonna do her thing at the end of the day. And I think this is a good pickup for Chicago. Chicago's in a rebuilding phase right now, and I think they're trying to build around Angel Reese. I don't know why teams haven't signed Kennedy Carter. I'm not sure what that's about, but she hasn't gotten picked up by a team. I know she was just playing in China, so I'm not sure what that's about. Like I said, I thought she was gonna get picked up by somebody, but apparently not. And then at 12th, Aziza James for North Carolina State got picked up for the Dallas Wings. Dallas Wings also got a lot of good picks as well.
well,
Um,
you know why she didn't get signed by nobody. She's over there fighting. You can't. Mm-mm.
well, I mean, yeah, but I don't know. I didn't they give Liz Campage a bunch of pl- uh, chances.
Yeah, you're
I
right.
guess they changed the policy. We not gonna have that hood rat. We not gonna have all that ghetto rah rah here. They don't. They not dealing with. I guess they said we not doing that no more. So I don't know. But shout out to Kennedy Carter. Hopefully somebody will pick her up, or maybe midway in the season she'll get picked up by a team. But listen, she gets paid more playing overseas anyway. Moving on to the second round. Um, I really like Madison Scott's game. Happy that she's on Dallas. She looks super, super duper grateful and appreciative that she's on a team. Yeah, Madison played out in Mississippi, so I liked her game as well. Um, and then 17, Cheyenne Sellers, who I don't know. I thought Cheyenne Sellers was going to get drafted in the first round. I don't know why I thought she was gonna, but listen, she's going to a good team. She's going to the brand new Bay Area Valkyries. So shout out to her for getting picked up. Cheyenne Sellers played out in Maryland, had a hell of a season. She's a really, really good pickup for them as well. And then moving on to continuing, excuse me, in the second round, Atlanta finally got a pick. I don't know if that them getting the 18th pick was because Atlanta did they did make the playoffs. Did they make the playoffs? I think they made the playoffs, but I don't know if it's because Brittany Griner, they got her to the team that adjusts
Yep.
their pick with getting so far second round in the 18th. But listen, they got a good pickup in Tahina Pow Pow. I'm seeing her play in South Carolina. I like her game. She's gonna get better. So shout out to her. I hope she gets playing time too, because sometimes some teams, and I get it, they want you to wait your turn, but I don't want to see her sitting on the bench. I want to see her out there playing on Atlanta. She's gonna get a lot of pointers and knowledge playing under both Ryan Howard and Alicia Gray. I'm excited to see her playing, and I think this is a good pickup for Atlanta.
Yeah.
Um, Damn, Fever got 19 and 20. They don't got 19 and 20, but I'm not surprised that they got the second round. But they're also trying to build around Caitlin Clark. I like Bree Hall's game, and then shout out to Sandra Fegan, who went to the Los Angeles Sparks. Um, I like her game as well. She's also from out in South Carolina.
Yeah.
It was nice to see Dawn Staley out there supporting the girls. A lot of the coaches were out there too. Kim Mulkey, Gina Oriema was at the draft in New York. Anybody from this list that stands out for you or that you want to touch on?
No, I'm happy that I thought they were gonna go again. I thought they were gonna go a little bit higher, but she three of them
Who
went.
like Tahina Pow Pow?
Yeah, yeah, even Sanaya Fegan. But you know what? They made it, and that was the end goal.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, I don't know. I kind of feel like they would have been second round picks. I don't know why. Not because they're not good enough to get drafted in the first round, but I thought they would have been a second round pick.
Yeah.
All right, moving on to the third round. Caitlin Chen was the standout.
Oh
So
yeah.
it's funny because Caitlin Chen wasn't expected to get drafted. She was sitting in the crowd to support, kind of like Kate Martin did last year. And her
Yeah.
name got called and she got drafted. But she's actually really, really good. I've watched highlights of her
Yeah.
game. She's really, really good. Um, so I don't know. The girl played in UConn. She just won a championship. So, and
Mhm.
not that that says, is everything about her game, but she's really, really good. So listen, the Valkyries, and I think also with her being Asian and playing with the Asian head coach, that like kind of made headlines as well. But Caitlin Chen, I'm excited to see what she does out on the court as well. Hopefully we see her get some playing time as well. Again, we already know sometimes when you new, you know, they don't um they don't be giving you burn like that. Madison Corner is out of TCU, got selected for Seattle. Um, I like that pickup. I like that pickup. I'm not familiar with King's game like that. And
Whose game?
uh the number 28 pick, King. I'm not
Oh
really
yeah,
familiar with her game.
me neither.
So I can't really speak on her um exactly. Um but I know she played out in Notre Dame, but I feel like I don't really remember seeing much of her play. I guess because she was kind of outshined by Miles and this other girl that was playing. But listen, they got picked. Keeping it up in the third round, Harmony Turner stands out of this whole list right here for me. I don't know if you was watching her game. She's a problem. She says smart girls could play basketball too out of Harvard.
Oh yeah.
I like her game. She's aggressive. She got a nice ball handling skills. She can drive to the basket. She's aggressive. I like what she's doing. And listen, I think this is a really good pickup for Vegas. Vegas is also kind of like semi rebuilding because they lost some pieces in the offseason. So they're
Yeah.
trying to rebuild. They got Drew Lloyd. They're gonna try to run it back and get back to that championship. So yeah, I thought this was a great pickup for Vegas. Just a really good pickup. Um, I like Zay Green for Washington, another good pickup. I'm not really familiar with Jordan Hobbs and Yvonne Ejim. But yeah, Harmony Turner, I've seen a lot of her highlights in games, so I know what she's gonna bring and what she can bring for Vegas. And then final lies in the third round. The Liberty got the last pick. No surprise there. They were the champs.
That's right.
Now, I've seen some highlights of Aja Kane. I'm not sure if Sandy's gonna play her. Who knows? With Benijah out, maybe she will get some playing time. You miss KT. Who knows?
She's
Huh?
six. She's what, 6'3". She's playing the center. That's what they have her listed at.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, she could also come. She might come behind. Um. What's JJ? Who knows?
No, she's not gonna come behind JJ. I think it's gonna be Isabel Harrison is gonna be behind JJ.
Oh yeah, I forgot. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, she got to get in line. You a rookie.
True.
She'll be behind Isabel Harrison. She'll be playing backup center if she gets the burn.
Yeah.
So listen, clearly Minnesota and the Liberty wasn't getting no high picks because they went to the final, so rightfully so. Um, but we'll see. Parish Duggan said, that's about WNBA is on the rise. Play ball, all that hip check crap is over. The money is here. Yeah. Kareem Grant salute said, I like our pick. Yeah, she's good. I've seen Asia's Aja. I'm probably butchering her name, but I've seen her highlights and I like what she can do on the floor. She's aggressive. She don't got butterfingers. She can catch the ball. She's very fluid. And you know what? I'm lying. She's not even gonna come behind Isabel because I forgot that we still have what you call it?
Huh?
Sabali.
Oh yes. Oh
We still have Han too, but yeah,
yeah.
I'm getting too ahead of myself. No. She's gonna be warming that bench up. She's gonna be warming it up at times because unless Sabali gets hurt or Isabel has an injury, because Isabel had at one point, I don't know if it was her knee. Remember, she was wearing a brace at one point, like the whole last season. So we'll see. But yeah, though that's my whole WNBA draft talk. I'm excited about the upcoming season, preseason. Unfortunately, I'm gonna be missing the game, so hopefully Divalox could get some footage and make a YouTube short and post it. But shout out to also Aflac who has renewing their partnership with the WNBA, and they're raising the competition cash prizes for the 3-point contest
Oh, yeah.
and the skills challenge. Shout out to Aflac. We know they have the money. Um, and shout out to all the other brands that I saw at the draft. I saw Coach, a lot of makeup brands. It's about time. I've been saying for the longest, like, I don't know why are these makeup brands and hair care brands not there? Like, for God's sake, it's marketing for you. And you can be one of the first to say we were one of the first who sponsored the WNBA. So I like what I'm seeing. Rondu 1973 salute said he got the Knicks 4-2. Yeah, I think it may come down to 6 games.
Yeah.
I
So,
think it's going to come down to 6. But what I don't want to happen is the Knicks win the first 2, Detroit win game 3, and then the Knicks allow Detroit to win game 4. That can't happen. You
yeah.
can't even it up. You can't be for real. You can't be for real.
Yeah.
That can't happen. So we'll see. We'll see. That's it because I don't really have no other news for the Knicks right now. Um, and I'm so happy that we're not facing Milwaukee because I would have really been like, this is a conspiracy. I saw Dame is cleared to play.
Yeah.
He's missing game 1, but all of a sudden he's gonna be ready. So, we were playing them out of like, of course, when players are injured, they're all of a sudden healed to play against the Knicks.
Yeah.
Um, yeah, Beasley said he's coming for the Knicks. I saw an article about Josh Hart bringing Carol's daughters, the hair care line.
Oh wow.
Yeah, it's a partnership. I mean,
Nice.
it only makes sense because, he gets braids and
Nice. Wow.
yeah. So shout out to Josh. He got a nice little partnership with Carol's daughters. Got the hair oil all in his head. I love that for him. Wow, Paris said the Knicks win in 1, 2, 4, and 5. Yeah, that's ideal. That's what I want. That's how I want it to happen. That's exactly how I want it to happen. Sterling Smith said they need to get real and sweep this team. Yeah. And honestly, you right. The Knicks should be able to sweep Detroit. I mean, maybe if they get one game, but you really should just, there shouldn't be a back and forth. And I just pray for health for this team. I want to see Mitchell Robinson, OG. I need guys to stay healthy.
Mm-hmm.
And Tibbs is going to go with, I'm assuming, 8, right? Who's the 8?
Well, Mitch, Deuce. So who you think he's gonna do? Shammer or Payne? But then you got
I
pressure.
think he needs to take it game by game and figure out
Like how
whoever's hot,
that
whoever's on.
the
Let
kid.
allow the game to come to you. Yeah.
Yeah.
Don't just sham it down 2, 3 games and then you go, all right, now I'm gonna play him. No, you gotta feel it out. Payne, okay, you rock with Payne. Payne may be off, or maybe he a little too sloppy or a step too slow. Okay, then you need to go with somebody else.
Yeah.
You can't keep going with this being predictable and going with the same cycle. So I don't know. I think that I know for sure it's gonna be Brunson, Josh, Mikel, OG, and Cat, Deuce, um, Mitch.
And then you also got pressure. So now that's 10. To be honest with
No,
you,
that's too many.
I know. But
Wait, and then yeah, it would be I guess Shaman or Payne. So yeah, it's gonna be an 8-man rotation, but I think you have to float in Precious and Shamit in the games at some point. You lock them into the 8-man at some points. Like to me, don't limit yourself to just that. You know what I mean? You gotta be flexible
yeah,
because it could be a night and one of the guys could be off and you don't know who could be a spark off the bench. I even saw someone in the Queen's Court chat and they were saying, oh, that he should try to give DeLeon Wright some minutes as well. It's a little bit of a stretch, but I don't know. I'm not going to put it past them, but we'll see. But yeah, the Dope Soul Sports Talk is up at 9 tonight. Y'all got a jam-packed show. Shout out to Queen. Always showing love. Always have a great time and a great show with her. Shout out to Ajay. Um, and shout out to Jarrell as well. So I know you guys are gonna go over there and start watching them. We're gonna give you guys a couple of minutes. If y'all want to go get some water, get ready to watch them. Go in. Shout out to Ron who joined us as well. Shout out to the chat. Y'all was really live today. Walter Blackman, salute to you. Wonder Woman, salute to you.
salute,
Sterling Smith, salute to you as well.
salute.
So he hates Richard Jefferson.
It's
Rondu,
the
1973.
two of them. Ah,
Salute to you. Nostalgic Knicks, salute to you. Just Knicks, salute to you. Juan B, y'all heard him. Get them likes up. Hit that like button. Ron said, "What's good, Knicks family? Salute to the chat. Salute to Lady and the Chef and Miss Divalux. Always showing love. Shout out to you, Ron. Kareem Grant, salute to you as well. Hit him up, NYNJ. Salute to you as well. Really, really appreciate you guys rocking with us as always. B Baller. For real. Tell me how to say your last part of your handle, because I feel like I'll be saying it wrong. B Baller. That's why I just say B Baller. So shout out to Divalux. That's because they don't be seeing you, Divalux. So they like
Outfit.
Divalux. Johnny Davis, salute to you. Parish Duggar always coming through. Appreciate you, Parish. Corey Lee, salute to you as well. Appreciate you. Shout out to the 718 boys. And those of you who weren't actively in the chat but rocking with us, salute to you as well. Those of you who are new here, shout out to you for rocking with us today. If you haven't already, subscribed to the channel, hit the like button, show us some love. Leave us a comment too after the show, because we like to continue on the conversation and love to hear you guys' perspective on the topics that we talked about. I want to know your predictions for round one. What do you want to see? What don't you want to see for round one as well? And is Tibbs in the hot seat? I'm curious to know, like, is Tibbs in the hot seat? Is it Tibbs and the front office in the hot seat as well? I'm curious to know you guys' thoughts on that as well. And yeah, we will see you guys Saturday morning doing the show to do a pregame before the Knicks go on later on that evening. So I'm looking forward to that. Shout out to everybody who joined us today. We appreciate you so much for joining us and rocking with us. Hope you all have a great Friday. Anything else from you, Diva Lux, before we get out of here?
Let's go Knicks.
As always, let's
Elevate.
Knicks in 5 for you, right?
Yeah, I'm gonna go Knicks in 5.
I got Knicks in 5 with a probable.
Yeah, that's what I was gonna say, with a possible 6.
Yeah, with a possible. Until next time, everybody, have a great